What did I tell you? Pain. Yes, the reinforcements from the last chapter are back. They're in fact the exact same reinforcements as the previous chapter. Which means, yeah, you've got mages with Hellfire, 2 Cavaliers, and 2 armors carrying a Rider's Bane and a Lance. Yeah, you don't want to be caught between, those guys in a hard place. The hard place being generals. And that's why I am making sure. Now, here's the thing, you might actually need to send some characters back just to delay the reinforcements, while you, hightail it over here. Yes, we need to get to George as soon as possible, because of course he's standing right on the siege point. But, again, I'm going to continue on my plan that I mentioned last part. We want to lure the snipers without luring the generals first. Yeah, those snipers can be quite dangerous with their silver bows. I mean, they got a bit of a quick chance, but it's actually not really that high. If you've got decent luck, you can avoid it reasonably well. But those generals, again, you do not want to provoke those generals. Which I've already said. Yeah, gotta make sure that you take the snipers stay out of range of those snipers though, otherwise they'll be in for a world of pain. Right, and seeing as I don't really have all that much to say here, I think I should take some time to mention that this is in fact the last time you'll be hearing this map theme, so enjoy it while you can. I really like this one. Advance is a really nice map theme, and it's a really good early map theme. It's actually, in the whole series, I actually think out of the early map themes, it's one of my favourites. It's really nice. Yeah, now, as you see here, Hellfire, yeah. Hellfire is painful. Really painful. Right, now we've lured the snipers over. Uh-oh, we can't melee that guy without getting in the general's range, though. That's not good. And, he fell from my trap. One serious javelin hit, sadly. I'm not quite fast enough to double them. Don't worry, it'll take a while before those armors reach us. The Cavaliers, on the other hand, yeah, they could be a problem. Uh-oh. This is warning number 2. Yes, like I said, there are 3 warnings. On the 3rd warning, you want to get the hell out of here. Seriously, you don't want to stick around once Harden gives the 3rd warning, and trust me, you'll know when it comes. Yeah, you can probably guess what happens when the at the time of the 3rd warning, but I'll leave you in suspense for the moment. Yep, it's not going to be pretty. Anyway, funnily enough, the music that plays when Harden is speaking, I mean, it's ominous enough and it fits the mood, but it's actually taken from Shadow Dragon, and the theme, for some reason, is still called the Ancient Mage Dragon. Yes, back in Shadow Dragon, it was the theme of Morzaz, the somewhat less generic Mage Dragon boss who is stated to have killed Marth's mother. So, yeah, and for some reason, I think the theme still has the same name in this game, despite the fact that, it's not really being used for Mage Dragons anymore, unless Hardin is hiding something about his ancestry. Now, right, Marth does need some more experience here. I mean, he can't promote, but it is always nice to get him to level up. Again, like, given that he has actual decent, well, not just decent, pretty good growth in this game. Yeah, now some of us are going to need to go back and hold off those reinforcements, and Militia's going to have to run back and forth healing. Yeah. Mary Sue's on hand just to stall the mages with her somewhat... Well, I mean, the fact that her resistance stat exists is the real significant thing here. And again, yeah, this is where Fena's going to be really useful, because being able to heal twice, with one totally unnecessary critical, but still completely awesome. Being able to use, oh, come on. Being able to use, a healer twice in one turn is pretty nice. And now we've got rid of the snipers, so that just leaves the generals, and we still don't want to provoke them yet. Well, Sirius is going to go back and, oh, that was good. When I first attempted this, she got a terrible level up, which was really uncharacteristic of her. Anyway, gotta watch out for those guys, especially the Rider's Bane one. I mean, Sirius can take one hit from a Rider's Bane, but wait a minute, that's Aaron. Whoops, I almost did something really stupid there. Sirius can take one hit from a Rider Stain, but if the other enemies gang up on him afterwards, it's not going to end well. So, yeah. Anyway, but at least in Hardin's case, that theme, despite having the wrong name for the situation, it still fits, unlike, say, oh, I don't know, the Proud Commander in most contexts used in this game. If only they hadn't overused that theme so much, and trust me, we have not heard the last of it. Oh no, not by a long shot. So what, the count's up to like 5 now, I think? Yes, I think 5. I don't know. Now, here's where I realized reclassing Mary Sue and Mage may not have been such a good idea. I wanted to get a magic up a bit for level ups, but magic's pretty low at the moment. I guess I should have just reclassed it as Mage and then leveled her up a bit in the drill grounds, but anyway. Right, yeah, I'm gonna have to get Aaron to do a bit of damage here. Again, weakening enemies but not killing them, that's one of the Jigen duties, and while he's still in the party, I might want to make as much use of that as possible, because, I'm gonna have to kick him out soon. But after I've got his third support conversation. Bye-bye Mage. Fighting fire with fire literally there. And right now I've got those calves to deal with. I was paranoid about reinforcements coming out of that fort. I don't think they do, I'm pretty sure they don't. But just to be safe. And speaking of reinforcements, here's some more! One thing I should probably mention before this chapter is over, this is also the last time you'll be hearing this enemy phase theme as well, right? You're not hearing it now, but it's battle. Wait, oh, hey, she doubles. That's funny, sometimes she doubles those mages, sometimes she doesn't. Random stat additions and all that. Now, no need to worry, she has surprisingly high defense for a mage, which she spent most of her life in the physical class. Unfortunately, she's going to need healing right now, and those armors getting close. Now, they take quite a while to reach you, though. Right then. Yeah, actually, yep, the enemy phase theme's already over, and, in fact, Martin calling George right now. In fact, that's actually the point, because, enemy phases are really short in this game. The AI takes their turn very quickly, and because of that, most of the enemy phase themes, despite being really nice themes, are kind of wasted. So you rarely get to hear that much of this game's enemy phase themes, and that's kind of sad because this first one, I believe it's called... Wait, is it Insurrection? I don't know. But anyway, it's actually pretty nice, so I highly recommend going onto Serenade's Forest. They have the full soundtrack up on their site. And I highly recommend going up there and listening to the enemy phase themes in full. Because this one is really good, but unfortunately, because the AI takes their turn so quickly, you probably won't hear any more than the first 10 seconds of it. Anyway, here's Mark recruiting George. Now, here's actually a significant change. In the original Mystery of the Emblem, you had to recruit George with Gordon. Of course, it should be obvious that Gordon could recruit him too, but in the original Mystery, that's what you had to do. In this game, you don't have to wait to swallow Gordon, Mark will do it himself. So I'm pretty sure this conversation is totally new. So anyway, it looks like George has finally had enough, and he's decided to defect to us. And yes, I don't think I have to talk about him. Speaking of themes here, the recruitment theme in this game is the exact same as it was in Shadow Dragon, which is interesting because in the original Mystery used a slightly different arrangement of the recruitment theme. It was more orchestral sounding than the one used in Book 1, but this game uses the same one as Shadow Dragon. Anyway, we've got George, and by extension the Parthia. Whoa, look at that. Yep, we've got the A-rank bow right now. Shame Ryan can't use it yet. Once he does though, things are going to start dying. But first... So, after one chapter of hesitation, Arcania's Archer Captain George has finally decided to join us. And George, remember what I said earlier about pre-promotes kind of sucking? Well, in George's case, it's not really because of growths. I mean, his growths aren't spectacular, but they're not really that bad either. Yeah. And his defense is actually pretty great by our Archer standards, the highest of all the Archers we've got so far. The problem, once again, is his base stats. They're just really low for a level 5 promoted unit. And if you've remember what Ryan's stats are by now in my playthrough, you'll notice that Ryan's stats actually aren't too far off George's, and he's a good 10 levels behind him, and he hasn't even got his promotion bonuses yet. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that once Ryan reaches level 5 promoted, his stats are going to be much, much higher than this. And even Gordon will be better than this by level 5 promoted. I mean, in fact, yeah, pretty much any archer in this game will be better by level 5 promoted, and again, that's where George really suffers, and most pre-promotes in this game. Like I said, it's the base stats that are their problem, not their growth rates. Again, these base stats were good by the standards of the original Mystery, and in the original Mystery, he actually had the opposite problem. His bases were decent by his level standard, but his growths were awful. I mean, now his growths are, well, I mean, I'd call them average myself, but they're not really bad, but his bases are pretty awful by this game's standards. Again, just look at his average stats, they're not really that good. I mean, those averages are actually excellent by the standards of the original Mystery, where everything capped at 20, but not anymore. So, again, yeah, George is pretty pointless if you're already using other archers. However, George does have one slight advantage, though, in the fact that he starts with an A-rank bows, and the ability to use the Parthia immediately. Now, on the higher difficulties, when you're facing really tough Draconites or a certain other enemy that I won't name because I'll probably go insane if I do, let's just say there are some really, really tough enemies that are weak to bows, and sometimes being able to use the Parthia, having just someone who can use the Parthia immediately, I mean, he will pretty much one-shot them, although I'm not really sure if he will on Lunatic mode, but at least now he will, and if you really, really hate those things and just need an emergency backup plan just to one-shot them, George can kind of do that, so he has some utility in one-shotting a few flying enemies, or at least doing some pretty serious chip damage to them. So I guess he's got that, so he's not entirely worthless, unlike some of the other pre-promotes we'll be seeing later. But still, he's not going to be beating any of the other archers, so again, if you're training up one of them, you probably shouldn't bother training him. That being said, he does have that one use, which doesn't require training him, so yeah, again, no real reason to train him, but still, auto A in bows and the Parthia is still nice. Until someone else gets up to an A in bows, that is. In fact, I just realised that if I managed to grab that General's Arm Scroll, I could actually get Ryan up to an A in bows right now, and have him use the Parthia. Lol, game break. But, still, probably not. And also, speaking of the Parthia, it was only just now, while I'm recording this commentary, that I realised all 3 Regalia are present in this chapter. You've got George with the Parthia, Hardin with the Gradius, and down the bottom, Astrum with the Mercurius. So, yeah, you've got all 3 Regalia of Arcadia here, which is actually a pretty cool thing, and I didn't actually realise this when I was recording the chapter for some reason. Of course, out of these, I mean, technically speaking, it's actually possible to obtain the Mercurius now if you're an idiot and kill Astrum. Yeah, you don't want to kill him yet, because, as should be obvious, he will join you, just not now. It'll be quite a long time before we join him, and ironically enough though, we actually have the character who can recruit him on our side now. Who is it? Well, I'll let you guess for yourself. But they won't actually work until... Oh, good thing I had hand axe equipped. And nice dodge there. Yeah, sometimes I accidentally leave weapons equipped when I actually want to equip a different weapon. In this case, the hand axe isn't so useful. Yeah. Bad at... Whoa! Yeah, that one. Then again, I kind of expected that. Okay, armors are coming, and more cans are coming too. Again, get used to this enemy face theme, you won't be hearing it again after this. Now, technically speaking, I can just have Master C's now and finish this chapter. But I'm gonna wait because, of course, I'm gonna wait for Hardin's 3rd warning. Because it's pretty significant plot-wise, and it also has a, an actual CG artwork for it that you probably will want to see. It has to be seen to be believed. But that requires us waiting a few more turns. Well, not a few more, this one turn. At the start of the enemy phase of this turn, Heartin is going to give warning number 3, and that is when we really should get the hell out of here. I'm also just warning you, around this turn, you want to stay as far away from the bottom of the map as you can. Get as far away from there as physically possible. Just stay away. Stay really far away. And yep, that Armor Slayer I bought is going to Narval, but I don't want him to kill too many enemies and get attacked by one. Sometimes it's advantageous not to kill too many. But at least I can weaken with Sue here and take him down with a Levin Sword, which is actually being surprisingly more useful than I thought it would be. I was always like, hey, you know, if you've got such bad magic, of course a magic sword isn't going to be doing much damage, and that's usually right, but I mean, even a ranged attack on a sword user is just pretty good in and of itself, and the fact that most enemies have crap resistance kind of negates the whole, you know, low magic issue. So I'm actually finding it pretty nice. I mean, 2 hits of 8 damage, I mean, if you weaken the enemy first, that's usually enough for a kill, and Bast is gaining a lot of speed with only a 40 speed growth. I mean, 40 speed growth is not actually that great, but he's still getting a lot. He's also getting surprisingly low strength considering that 70% strength growth, but no, that'll catch up. I'm sure that'll catch up later. Oh yeah, of course, Narval only needs one more attack to level up, doesn't he? So yeah, my goal here is, because I can technically end this right now, my goal here is to just get as much experience as I can, and then get the hell out. But firstly, if we're going to be leaving this chapter next turn, maybe we should just lure a couple of armors in. Yeah, that's pretty good. And here we go. This is warning number 3, and as you can see by the ominous artwork on the bottom screen, yep, this is not good. Once this happens, you want to get out of here as fast as you can, and you will see why very soon. Yeah, you should probably be able to see with your eyes just how much he's changed. I mean, look at that face. Sir, clearly, there's something wrong with him. Yeah. He's claiming he's just doing it because he's being a tyrant, but judging by that bottom artwork and his face, it's pretty obvious there's something sinister behind him. Now, this is the bit. When he says all soldiers attack, he means all soldiers. He means every single enemy on the map. And you know who that includes? Yep. Yes, he didn't move last chapter, but he's going to move now. This is why you want to get out of here as soon as you can. Also these generals, Silver Lancers, yeah, they're kind of painful. When I was playing normal, nice one, Ogma. Wait a minute, what number of Ogma crit is that? He's got a lot of lucky crits lately. Anyway, when I was playing this chapter on normal mode, I actually had Linda kill most of the generals here. On any of the higher difficulties, it's far too risky to do that. Though it is nice to get that arm scroll, and oh come on, you can do so much better than that. Oh, at least your speed's 1 point off max. So yeah, they're coming. Ominous clanking of general's boots. Yeah, their boots clanking towards us. Now here we go. Now this is why you want to get as far away from the bottom of the map as possible. Astrum's Hero Brigade is moving. Yes, Astrum's Hero Brigade is moving. So, yeah, what we're going to do now is we're going to try and kill as many of these generals as we can for experience, and then we're going to run. If you want, you can try and take on some of the heroes, but I doubt anyone but a really over-leveled Sirius is going to be doing anything to them. These generals, though, because you got a lot of weapons effective against them, you can actually kill quite a few of them. Though, with hindsight, I really should have gone for the arm scroll guy first. I think I actually ended up using the arm scroll. But arm scrolls aren't all that great, really. I mean, if you're using a character a lot, you generally max their weapon levels anyway. Right, now he's down. Should give me a level up. Yes, it did. Yeah, promoted enemies are great for experience. And come on, get speed! But you might notice that apart from speed, Gordon and George pretty much, not Gordon, Ryan and George have pretty much the exact same stats. Or better in the case of Ryan's luck. Anyway, using a bit of a physics stuff there. I was contemplating having George do chip damage, but using the Parthia for chip damage I mean, yeah, that is, wow, not very good. Didn't want to waste the uses of that. Right, now I can safely expose myself to those generals because I know this chapter's going to end this turn. So again, I'm just trying to get as many kills as we can, so I'd watch out for that killer lamp. If that critted me right now, I would have got so angry. Well, not really that angry, I've got a save point that's pretty close to this, but... And she didn't get magic. That was the whole point of me reclassing her to a mage. I just wanted to get a magic up to the level where she can reasonably just kill stuff with magic, but game isn't letting me do that. Right, just one more kill for Navo. Bang, gone. And one more kill for Fast. Or Sirius, yeah, see, yeah, not even Sirius can do much damage to these guys, and they've all got silver weapons, and yeah, you don't really up. I was just checking to see if I could kill any of them. You really don't want that. And I'm going to use a quick axe here. Again, basically just a light brave weapon, essentially. But it's only got 10 uses, which is really unfortunate. Actually, probably best if you forward to that one, but still. No, we're not going to be doing much to those heroes. We might be able to get rid of those. Ow. Yeah, Rider's Bane, not good. Well, he can take one hit from a Rider's Bane at least. Right then, yes, Alright, I guess Shida can finish off this one general over here. No, she needs the Wing Spear. It doesn't matter, we can actually buy more Wing Spears later. If you have, for those who haven't played Shadow Dragon, yeah, Marth and Sheena's exclusive weapons, the Rapier and Wing Spear, you can actually buy them in certain shops, but only particular shops. You have to know which ones, and they usually only stock one of them each. Anyway, time to put this map behind us. For those of you who are wondering, yeah, Hardin himself did move then. In the original mystery, I believe Hardin actually did start moving now. I'm not sure if he moves on Lunatic or anything like that, or if you wait even more turns. In fact, there may even be a fourth warning for all I know where he moves. I'm not sure. Of course, I haven't stuck around that long. Once Astra moves, you really want to get out of here. Now, this conversation about everyone still being fighting and meaning to escape, I always thought the developers planned to put in another side quest chapter here. Really, it would actually make this line here. This would make sense if you got a side quest chapter here with my unit, with not having Marth, my unit being a main lord temporarily and helping everyone escape. That would have actually been pretty cool. And anyway, time to take off Wendell's Pope hat. And we'll close this chapter off with another roundup of the Starsphere shards we found. There were 2 in this chapter, so let's get to it. The first shard in this chapter is probably the most important, because it's the one you can actually miss, although you'd have to be a complete idiot to miss this one. Given that this thief below you is going to have to run straight past your army in order to escape, there's pretty much no way you can actually miss him. So just make sure your most powerful fighters are all the way to the left. Even then, I mean, Kane starts right in charge range of this thief, and he can do some pretty decent damage to him. So yeah, this guy shouldn't last long. Taking him down gets you the Leo Shard for +2 strength, which is a pretty useful bonus. But again, more importantly, you need this for the good ending, so you're going to want to get it. But, of course, getting this shard isn't really too hard. It's much easier, in fact, than the Scorpio one in the previous chapter. And yeah, you'd have to be pretty stupid to miss this one. Anyway, how about the second shard then? The second shard up for grabs in this chapter is another one of those ones that you get by recruiting a new character. In this case, considering that George is the most famous archer in the continent, it's only natural he'd be carrying the Sagittarius shard. Anyway, once you've recruited George, he will come with the shard. Alternatively, he'll drop it if you somehow manage to kill him. Now, this shard is in fact unmissable. Since George is standing right on the seize point for this chapter, there's no way you can actually clear the map without either recruiting or killing him, both of which will give you the shard. So in fact, there's actually no way to miss this one. But seeing as you can miss the other one in this chapter, I guess it's important, and for completeness sake, I'm including this one in the roundup. So, with that out of the way, we now have 8 shards out of 12. We're more than halfway there, guys. So we'll be finding the rest pretty soon. But until then, see you.